Richard Sherman came out and said that he doesn't believe Matthew Stafford is a Hall of Famer. Of course, this is what we do after Super Bowl. Is this guy a Hall of Famer after winning a Super Bowl? You know, Joe Flacco, is he a Hall of Famer now because he won a Super Bowl? So, Cody, Matthew Stafford, is he a Hall of Famer?
You know what? Unfortunately, I'm going to say he's not a Hall of Famer right now. I know that he spent, almost all of his career in Detroit, and some will say, well, it was wasted, and look at the stats that he put up. Other than, I think, 3 different times or occasions he led the Detroit Lions to the playoffs. Those 3 times prior to him going to the Rams, who lost them all. At most, you can say he's a really good regular season quarterback. He definitely pads the stats during garbage time, and he's a good player. I mean, clearly he was an upgrade from Jared Goff, but he only has 1 Super Bowl win, which just happened. A lot of people arguing if Eli Manning was going to be a Hall of Famer, and he has 2 Super Bowl wins, and he was a Super Bowl MVP to boot. Peyton Manning went through this a lot in his career before he got the second one. How elite is Peyton Manning? I mean, he's got 1 championship to show for it, but he's really good in the regular season, and Stafford kind of shows that. The only thing with Stafford is he's really got no All-Pros to show it. He's got, I think, only a handful of Pro Bowl invitations to go with that as well. I mean, right now, I think we're kind of, we're riding high on the wave of him winning the Super Bowl, and he did really well. I'm not trying to discredit that he did poorly in the playoffs or he just got by. I'm not saying he's, like a game manager of who was the quarterback that comes to mind for the Buccaneers? I think it's Brian Johnson, who was a game manager for the Bucs in 2002 when he won them the Super Bowl. Trent Dilfer comes to mind as a game manager who just kind of does enough to get you a win. I obviously don't see Stafford in that manner, but I don't think Stafford is a Hall of Famer yet. Now, if the Rams, let's say, repeat and win a second Super Bowl, then yeah, I'm all for Stafford getting in the Hall of Fame. But right now, I kind of agree with Richard Sherman. The Hall of Fame bar is kind of lowering a little bit more each generation, and we need to find a way to hold it up to a higher standard. And I get it, Dan Marino was voted in the Hall of Fame because he was a very talented quarterback, but he had no Super Bowl wins. But obviously, he was Hall of Fame talent. Now, the bar just keeps getting just a little bit lower because you have now some quarterbacks that are getting in with no championships and no other accolades. They just kind of are fan favorites now. Now we need to ask, is Tony Romo also a Hall of Famer? I mean, he's fan favorite. He's popular with the organization, but does that mean he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? Same thing with Stafford. Does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame just because he's won 1 Super Bowl with a stacked roster? Does that mean he gets in? I don't think so. Not yet, at least.
First of all, I hate this. I'm not going to lie to you. I hate this because this guy, Matthew Stafford, we're acting like he's done. And he's not. He's still going to play. I mean, maybe by chance he's going to say, I got my Super Bowl, I'm done. Then I feel like we should really have this debate. But I feel like this is so unfair to him because it's just like, dude, let us breathe. Okay, let us breathe. He got a Super Bowl. He definitely paid his dues. There's no question about it. He paid his dues in Detroit. I don't think there's been another quarterback other than one that I can think of, and I'll let that go for now. But one other quarterback who has paid their dues, who deserves a win like this. When I looked at Matthew Stafford in Detroit, a lot of people were saying, is he a Hall of Famer? And I said, no, I don't think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Does it suck that he was in Detroit? Absolutely. It sucks. But at the same time, there were a couple of times where he could have left. He could have left a lot sooner. He didn't have to stay with Detroit, but he liked it. He wanted to win there. I understand that. I get that. Okay? Fast forward now, he finally gets out of Detroit. He's in Los Angeles, and he finally wins one. And we can talk about it's a stacked roster. It's phenomenal. Listen, Odell Beckham was out. Tyler Higbee, his safety net, was out. They had lost Robert Woods earlier this year, who was arguably either their number 1 or number 2, depending on who you asked. Cooper Kupp was not the definitive number 1 guy when this season started. Then you talk about, you got Aaron Donald. That's great. Jalen Ramsey, he's been great this year, but in the Super Bowl, he wasn't at his best. And that defense lost a lot of their linebacking core and a lot of their other top cornerbacks. Now, were they still good? Of course. You added Von Miller in the middle of the season, and you have Leonard Floyd, who kind of struggled with injuries and was healthy for the Super Bowl. But majority of this team was gone. Like, his weapons were gone. And for him to make that drive the way he did with only Cooper Kupp, I mean, you had Cooper Kupp, you had Van Jefferson, who his mind obviously was on his wife because he was not playing well at all. Mm-hmm. The backup tight end, Blanton, he got hurt. So they were on their third string tight end, and he couldn't catch anything. Then you had, and I'll quote my brother-in-law with this one, Dollar Tree Cooper Kupp. I don't even know his name. It was number 18. And it was 100% on board with it because he kept dropping. He dropped one where it ended up being picked. Yeah. So there was so much that we can talk about. Yeah, Matthew Stafford has this great roster, and he does. I'm not going to deny that. But in this Super Bowl game where he needed to make it count, he made it count with literally no one that he had worked with other than Cooper Kupp. And it was quite impressive for a guy to throw 2 interceptions, not just one, but 2 in the Super Bowl, and he still comes back and throws a game-winning touchdown. That was super impressive. So for me, Matthew Stafford paid his dues. He still has the numbers to back it up, and here's why. Is he going to be the all-time passing leader? No. Is he going to be the all-time passing touchdown leader? No. But what he could possibly do is become the all-time quarterback in fourth quarter / overtime wins. He's at 34. He is currently 5th in a career for fourth quarter. That's all-time. That's just regular season. I'm not even including postseason. I'll give you the postseason stats if you want to, but he's tied with actually Johnny Unitas, who was phenomenal in his own right. But you have Drew Brees ahead of him, Ben Roethlisberger ahead of him, Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. All of those quarterbacks have retired now.
Wow.
Matthew Stafford still has time to come back. I will put this little snippet in there just for you, Cody. Okay. Derek Carr, he's 10 behind Matthew Stafford. He came in 5 years after Matthew Stafford.